Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins here with you from yourblackworld.com, and we are here for Casual Friday. And I am chilling in my t-shirt, and Nomalanga Mhlauli-Moses is chilling in her t-shirt, and she's tired because she has had an amazing week. She actually went and competed for Mrs. Earth, that's MRS Earth, and she did really well. We were really proud of her. She's not only affiliated with Your Black World as one of our editors and contributors, and she runs her site successfulblackwoman.com, but she's also the reigning Mrs. Botswana, and she went to compete in the Mrs. Earth contest, and we were happy to support her, in that endeavor. So I'm dying to find out, how did it go, Nomalanga?
Boyce, great to see you again. It was actually a great experience, and I entered my first pageant when I was 17 years old, and I think at the time the criteria was you had to be tall. But this was actually a great experience because it showed me that pageants really do work. It gave us the exposure that we need, and I thought it was really great because every woman that participated in the pageant had an opportunity to do small interviews. We had the opportunity to speak on camera. We submitted information to the judges ahead of time about what our platforms were, and we really made it worth it in terms of it wasn't just about coming on and putting on a show about some pretty dresses. There was a lot going on in the background. And one of the things that I appreciate about the director of the pageant is he's very interested in us promoting the platforms that we stand for.
Well, I love it. And you got third place, in case I didn't mention that earlier, which is awesome, I mean, that is so extraordinary, and I am so proud of you. And so what was it like preparing for something like this? I mean, I've never, as beautiful as I am, I've never been in a pageant like that. What is that like? I mean, how much work does it take to kind of get ready for stuff like that and to go through that process?
The funny thing is that's a funny thing because one of the judges asked that question. The funny thing is when you actually participate in pageants for the right reasons, it doesn't require as much prep work as people think. Pageants are about, first of all, celebrating being a woman and what a woman can do. It's about taking care of yourself, so the way that you look does matter. We're not saying it's the only thing that matters, but you have to take care of yourself, and you have to be able to demonstrate that you do take care of yourself. You have to be able to have a voice that you use. I already use my voice, as you obviously know. I write blogs, I do videos like this with you. I'm already doing the things that I should be doing. So preparing for a pageant is just doing what you normally do if you're doing the pageant for the right reasons. You're promoting your causes. You're doing the charity event that you want to. As you know, I'm developing a foundation in the Journal for young girls to promote completion of high school. So again, I was just doing what I was doing, and when I went there, I just had more people to share it with, and I was looking forward to using the Mrs. Earth title to just get a larger audience to do what I already do. So it's really great in that, of course you have to do the shopping and the girly stuff, but it doesn't require as much preparation if you're already doing what you should be doing.
Interesting. Well, it's so funny that you competed in this pageant, and you've talked extensively about what that process is like, and I think it's also important for people to know that you have a strong desire to give back. You're an intelligent professional family woman, but you also mentor young black women, and you give them the skills and the tools that they need to be fulfilled, to be happy, whatever that means for them. Now, I want to know, I have to ask you, this week I don't know if you saw in Your Black World, we had an article where there was a father who was trying to take custody away from his daughter's mom because she had her in these pageants, and she had the little 5-year-old girl literally wearing breast plates or whatever it is to make her breasts look fuller and something on her rear end, and it seems like some people just kind of take it too far. I mean, have you ever had to, come face to face with people who just seem to have some kind of pageant mania or be addicted to pageant? I mean, what's the deal with that?
Of course. Like I said, I've entered a number of pageants, both, I went to school in Zimbabwe, entered a pageant there. I lived obviously in Botswana because I'm from Botswana, and I've entered a few here. Some years ago when I was in college in Providence, I was Miss Providence, and then I was first runner-up for Miss New England. So I've been in the pageant circuit a bit, and you do see some extremes, but it's not just in the pageant world. When people talk about online dating, they always say, do you run into some wackos? Well, yeah. You also run into them in person, and the same thing applies to pageants. And like I said, when you're in it for the right reasons, you meet the right people, but every now and then you are going to run into people who take it too far. And just for the record, little girls are supposed to be little girls. The minute they go extreme with their hair and their makeup and start making them look like little midgets who are worn in the face and then little in the body. I think we need to draw the line there. And I've been very vocal about what we're positioning as a beautiful woman. It has to be diverse. And again, when it's a little girl, it has to be a little girl that looks like a little girl, just in the same way that I believe with us born women, it can't just be a blonde woman with blue eyes. It has to be a wide range of women that are considered beautiful, and the one that puts her best foot forward is the one that wins.
No, you're not just sort of a typical, pageant contestant. I mean, you were actually quite vocal, in another pageant that you participated in because you felt that women of color were being eliminated from, consideration for the title. Can you tell us about that and how that's gone and, just what led you to speak so boldly on that issue?
I just kind of touched on it a few minutes ago in that I feel like we're sending a wrong message when consistently the people that win look the exact same way. Because then we're saying that beauty is exclusive and it looks one way, and obviously that's not true. And by pageant standards, I'm actually a little bit fat. But I think that again, it's one of those things. I actually did have an extensive conversation with the organizers of Mrs. Earth, and I asked them what they were looking for, and they said, we want a real woman who's doing real things. I honestly didn't have to. I've actually gained a little bit of weight since the other pageant, which was Mrs. World, and I was confident walking on the stage because I knew that what defines me as a successful woman who's doing things in her community, in her country, and here in the United States is not about how I look only, although that counts to some degree. With the Mrs. World pageant, which is the one that I took issue with, their history is that they've always chosen women that are not black. There's no disputing it. Anybody can go into their website and look into the history of who the women have been. With this pageant, Mrs. Earth, with the newer pageant, they've yet to have a black woman, but one of the things that I looked into was I looked at the panel of judges that they've had over the years. They've always been diverse, and the winners have been diverse. In fact, the winners for this year were Asian. There was a Ms. for unmarried women, and then there was a Mrs. for married women, and they were both Asian women. And then the year before that, there was a Russian. It's diverse, and that's what we're looking for.
Well, I like that. I'll tell you the truth. One of the things I respect about you, and I respect a lot of things about, how you carry yourself and the way you go about doing what you do. But one of the things I really respect, and this is just a bias of mine, is that when you talk about real women doing real things, I see you in that category because, when you talk about, a woman embracing activism on any level, you've sort of got the cute, polite activism where everybody's happy and nobody's offended. And then you've got people that are not afraid to ruffle feathers if necessary to actually make progress. For example, fluffy activism to me, no disrespect to Beyonce, but, in response to Harry Belafonte's criticism, Beyonce did World Humanitarian Day and said, today I want everyone to do a good deed, which, okay, sounds good, great. But I think Harry was really saying, no, we need you to really talk about some things that are affecting your people. We need you to talk about, all the black men in prison, all the little black girls that are being sexually assaulted every year. We want you to talk about what's going on with black unemployment, the educational system, the things that are really going to affect people's lives, not do things that are just fluffy. And what I like about what you did with the Mrs. World pageant was you did something that wasn't fluffy. I mean, you really, you had your evidence and you made your point very clearly, very eloquently, and very firmly, and I think that that's what separates a real woman from from a woman who just pretends to be real, right? Which makes her unreal, So I respect that. Now, the last thing I want to ask you is this, what's next for you? What happens, with, what are the plans as far as, what you want to do in the pageant arena, as well as the rest of your professional life?
Well, there's a lot going on. As you know, I'm working on a book, maybe even a couple of books. And really, boys, it's just about broadening the platform. It's about reaching as many people in their lives. And obviously, you know that I specifically feel most confident speaking to women, partially because I've studied enough about women. I am a woman, and I've been in that area for a while, and specifically Black women, because again, our experiences are unique. So it's just about broadening the platform. A book reaches more people. I'd like to start to do more speaking engagements, and we'll speak at, again, mainly colleges. I do specialize in the 18 to 25 range, although I do feel like there's always something older women can learn from us younger women. And it also works in the opposite way. So that's really what I'm doing. You probably know September's rolling around. College starts back up. I do have another 100 students that I have to stand up in front of and share some experience and lessons. But it's really about broadening my platform and increasing the people that I speak to and hopefully affecting a positive way.
All right. Well, I love it. I love it. And everybody, this is Nomalanga Mhlauli-Moses. You've probably seen her, if you're affiliated with Your Black World, and if you are connected to what I believe to be the most powerful and progressive Black news and information platform in the country. We're always a step ahead of the competition. Those corporate lames, they try to keep up with us. They copy us all the time, but they can never duplicate what we do. If you're affiliated with Your Black World, you know all about Nomalanga. I encourage you to follow her. She is in my mind, every bit as great as Oprah Winfrey. And she is, she's going to be a superstar. And I know great women when I see them. And for that reason, she has my respect. And thank you all. So thank you, Noma, for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, boys. I just want to do something that I don't usually do. It's called an attitude of gratitude. I notice when we have our interviews, you always say something really uplifting about me, and I just want everyone to know that you've been a really great mentor in terms of what I do with my writing and what I do with my public appearances, like here on Your Black World, and I just want to say thank you for that.
Oh, well, the pleasure's all mine, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the compliment. It means a lot to me. And also, thank you to those who are watching. I really appreciate your support. Without you, we would be nothing. We would have nothing. And we really do our best to stay true to our purpose and really do what's right for people of color. So for those of you who have our backs, thank you so much. And until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. We are gone. Peace.